backed up.
I know you. Well,
gotta get
you've
my-
got.
And
most
now
of it.
the end is near. Oh, what do you say, boys?
Hey,
What can we have
They hate
here?
when they do that, don't
people hate when they act like we're already going on. Now, I'm Tracy Hackler, Associate Publisher here at Beckett Media. This, as you guys probably well know, is Pepper Hastings. Now, we've spent, how long have we been in business, Pepper, Beckett?
Well, we started Beckett in 1984.
In 1984. So,
November of 84, and
so now this is 2008, so we're talking 24 years.
Yep.
Now, for 22 of those 24 years, you've been a fixture here at Beckett.
right, yeah, I started in 1986. There was three of us then. It was Dr. Beckett, his
Right.
sister, and myself, and we had another girl that came in and counted the checks.
And there were a lot of those.
Part-time, yeah, there sure
A lot of
were.
them back then. Now, that picture that we opened the video with was your original employee. Picture.
Yeah, well, actually, it was taken when we moved into a new building
Okay.
about midway, probably in the early 90s, but yeah, it's been a while ago. I'm sure that there's a few more gray hairs now than there were in that picture.
But no. What most people might not realize, we have an employee wall,
Right.
and in that wall, they're all the photos, and they're hung in order of when the employee started. You're employee number 3.
Right.
Photo.
And I still am photo number 3 because the two employees ahead of me both had their numbers retired.
Yes, Dr. Beckett
And Claire
Amano.
Claire Mono, who is Jim's sister, and both of their numbers were retired, and I realized that I wasn't going to move up on the wall anymore. So I thought maybe it was time to try a change, and as a matter of fact, tomorrow's my last day here at Beckett.
Right, which is why we're doing the interview here. We've spent all these years at Beckett covering legends from King Griffey Jr. to Frank Thomas. You think about all the hot list guys, and we've had a living legend in our midst the whole time in Pepper Hastings.
Not sure if that's quite right, but
I think so. I think you're a hobby legend for sure.
well, I've been to a few shows. I've shaken a few hands. I've been to quite a few hobby events over the years. I've met some great people in this hobby. There's some people that I'm really going to miss. I won't be able to associate with them on a business level.
Right.
You always say you're going to stay friends and stay in touch. It never works out that way.
Right, it's
But
tough.
Bless you, buddy.
Yeah,
I think we'll still stay in touch.
Well, hey, listen, Pepper hired me as an intern,
Yeah.
and you hired me as a full-time guy.
Found you in a newsroom at a college
Yeah.
journalism school, as a matter of fact. It said he collected football cards. So, hey, he's in.
I was in.
You collected football cards and you could put together a sentence.
Right, so that was good. So I'll forever be indebted to you, and we'll miss you immensely. Now you've during your time here, you've done everything from you've led the editorial department, you've led the pricing department, you've led the marketing department, you've led the grading department, you've led, what am I missing out here?
I think dealer sales, subscriptions.
Dealer sales, subscriptions.
We're not getting into the accounting part of it.
That might be the only thing.
The company wouldn't be around.
Well, so like I've said, Pepper Hastings has done everything at Beckett except leave, and now unfortunately, but fortunately for you, you're leaving. You're going to a different industry.
Totally different industry. Nothing to do with anything that's negatively going on here. In fact, this is a great place to be. I really have mixed feelings about leaving, but sometimes, as they say in life, timing is everything.
Sure.
And this seemed like a good time for me to make a move, and I think Beckett's in great shape.
Now, you've seen just about everything. You've seen the highs of the industry, the lows, and hopefully we're on the way back up. But what are one or two things that you remember most about your time in the hobby?
Well, it's hard to know where to start, but I remember some of the early nationals back in the early 90s when the lines were around the building,
Right.
particularly here at Arlington, in Chicago, and also at Anaheim. The promo cards, remember
Right,
the promo cards?
right.
And I thought, my goodness, this is incredible. And of course, we only see that in Toronto at Al Sinclair shows now.
Right,
They
right.
still do that, but they're in the 90s up there still, perhaps. The other great story, the best story I think that I've seen since I've been in the hobby is the story of Beckett.
Right.
It's a story of a guy who started a company because he had a passion for the hobby and he wanted to bring order to chaos.
Right.
There was the Wild West out there with card prices, and it was the Wild West with condition. And that's Jim Beckett started first a annual book, and secondly a monthly price guide to bring order to chaos and to help the collector get fair value and make informed purchasing decisions about sports cards. And I think the fact that you go from baseball cards and expanded that brand into football card magazines, basketball card magazines, hockey magazines, racing magazines, all across the board. Every one of those magazines, although it was met with initial resistance from some dealers,
Right.
because perhaps they were charging too high a price. Okay,
Right.
eventually, those products that were cursed by dealers helped everyone and expanded the hobby immensely. And I think that's one of the greatest stories in the hobby, is Jim Beckett starting the Price Guide magazines, because it grew the hobby. It
Sure.
really helped grow the hobby.
It legitimized it in a lot of
Yeah.
people's eyes.
Right.
What any occasions at Beckett that when you've laughed so hard that you've cried?
Nearly every day. Doing snow angels,
Right.
in a group, in a survey pile, was one of the sillier things. But that just happened 3 or 4 days ago. That's
Yeah.
just the thing that I remember most recently.
Right.
There have been so many things here. There was a paintball outing we had one time where Dr. Beckett took a paintball. Well, let's just say in a bad place. It wasn't. It
was a
wasn't
morale
good.
building exercise?
It was a
Awry?
morale building. It went a little bit awry. Oh, and 22 years, you really can't pinpoint anything.
Right.
It's just been a great ride. I've enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, what is there one favorite collectible in your collection that you've amassed?
Many things, but I really like my Beckett baseball #1.
Okay.
And I've got, actually, there's a little story to be told there. Beckett baseball #1, there was actually 10,000 of them made. We threw away a bunch of them because they got wet,
Right. Okay.
and I grabbed a handful, so I still got them.
Still have them.
Jim said fine.
Well, you've always been a collector of stuff, of sports cards, of people, of mannerisms, and like I said, a true legend in the game. I'm going to miss you, but
Miss seeing you.
we'll be in touch.
Another happy customer?
Oh, another happy customer. See you, brother.
All right, man.
That's it.